49-0. 49-0. Put some respect on our name. Come on. I saw this on Twitter, and I have no disagreements here. None whatsoever. Quinn Ewers doesn't get hurt. UT's undefeated right now. They don't drop a game. They beat Alabama. They beat the number one team in the country. They don't worry about a road game against Texas Tech. No, because Quinn Ewers is him. He is the guy that the Longhorns program has been dying for so long. And no disrespect to Sam Allinger, no disrespect to Colt McCoy. Vince Young, you had some fun in the sun back in the day, but no, this is Quinn Ewers' town. This is Quinn Ewers' town. He has made the 512 his presence. In fact, he deserves his own steakhouse in downtown Austin. I'm going to put that out there right now. He is damn good. And it was so obvious. I mean, just picking apart this Oklahoma defense to the left, to the right, deep. Oklahoma just had no answers. I don't know how long Venables is going to be the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners. Maybe he gets the pass this year, but that felt good. That felt real good.
You're giving the man steakhouses in Austin, Texas already. Like, Vince Young basically won a Heisman and a national championship. Good Lord, my man. I mean,
he's a little bit of a jerk. Just throwing it out there. I have some inside sources that say, but you know what? Hey, Quinn Ewers, brighter days, bright future for the University of Texas football program. I'm excited for it, man. I mean,
let's start with a used car dealership and work our way up from there for Quinn Ewers. Let's give him the Stetson Bennett Kia of West Austin treatment first before we go that far. But
hey, Stetson Bennett had some wills in this last weekend of college football. We got time.
Oh,
mention that.
This is no disrespect. This is no disrespect to Stetson Bennett. I'm just saying Stetson Bennett's going to be having a Kia, Chevy, Honda, Hyundai dealership in the Georgia area for the next 40 years after he does not make an NFL roster. When it comes to the Texas Longhorns, I don't share the same belief in Texas the way you do of an undefeated college football playoff run season. And at the same time,
but to
49-0.
Yeah. To this point, they could have been undefeated had Ewers not got hurt.
Sure. I don't think they would have beat.
Yeah, just think about the red zone opportunities that were wasted while Hudson was inserted into the lineup. I think those ended touchdowns, man. In a game that ended 20-19.
Yeah, I guess my only hesitation is that even if Alabama doesn't win exactly that way, they win in a different way. That's basically just the only hesitation. But it's semantics. Like, Texas could be undefeated in conference play, and now that you've removed really anyone at the top of the Big 12 from the equation, because Baylor is beatable. Oklahoma State's probably the one team that I look at and say, like, they're still really good, but like Oklahoma is terrible. And I always say that, you get I said it in the pregame or the preview that we did for it, like, you get a pass no matter how bad things go for Oklahoma. The difference for Oklahoma is that there is no precedent for Oklahoma being this bad. That university has had pretty much continuity for 55 years at the head coaching position, with like a one-time exception when Barry Switzer took the Cowboys job. Like, there's no precedent for Oklahoma being this bad.
I think too, what presses the issue a little bit more is that their defense is as bad as it is, because that's where Venables comes from. That's his side of the ball. His side of the ball gets smoked 49-0, just allows Texas to march downfield at will, because there was no stopping them. They could have probably put up more points, if, in all honesty. I think they took their foot off the brake, which is another issue for Texas that I will point out there. But I think the defense, they were opportunistic. They took advantage of a backup quarterback, and it was clear without Gabriel in the lineup. They had a game plan. They knew what they wanted to do. And then the trick play, the little pop and lock interception too that went the other way. It's clear that they were just trying to just pull stuff out of their ass. They were just trying to do anything.
No, they were running practice plays. But by the end of that game, they were running practice plays because that defense just couldn't do. They were playing the second team defense by the end of that game, and they were just running practice plays deep in the playbook. And, power to them. I still can't comprehend you're giving steakhouses to Quinn Ewers after winning the first unranked Red River since 1998. And
the largest margin of victory in a Red River for the University of Texas.
Yeah, you're correct. Just both of these teams aren't very good. I get the largest margin of victory ever, and that's fantastic.
The first shutout on the Oklahoma offense and I believe over like 127 contests.
Mm-hmm. And in those 127 years, this might be the worst Oklahoma team of them all. And at the same time, super impressive, dominating win. Like, obviously, it doesn't. When you proclaimed at the start of the year that the Oklahoma game was a must-win game for Sark, this probably didn't have the same feel to it because of how far Oklahoma has fallen.
You were shocked, even in the preview, when I told you that it was a 7-point line in favor of Texas. You're like, that sounds weird.
Oh,
I would have took Texas
absolutely.
plus 20 after seeing the first drive.
Not even Vegas has been prepared for this. I saw that in Oklahoma's 3 losses this season, which was Kansas State, TCU, and Texas, the Vegas spread lines were off by like what they projected to the final result by 96 points. That's the 4th largest deficit from projection to final result. 4th largest in the history of college football. Like they're talking about like terrible teams like 08 like Wake Forest and 04 Washington State on this list. They've just, nobody has seen the total drop off of Oklahoma. And if you did, you were kidding yourself, because 3 weeks ago we were talking about Oklahoma as a playoff team because they were ranked 6th in the country.
And you know what's scary for them too? So they go into this game against Kansas. Kansas is actually good. I saw them play against TCU and they actually looked really good. TCU looked good. TCU continues to look good, which is another game that's going to be a tough game for Texas. I'm not going to look past that game now, seeing how TCU's played to this point. I'm not going to look past Kansas, seeing how Kansas has played to this point. But
what a weird sentence.
If you're Oklahoma, now you're looking at these games and you're like, that's not a game that I can just chalk up as a W anymore. It's not even a game that I can chalk up as a tie or a -6 line anymore. That's a game where they might go in as the underdog. That's a scary proposition for those programs, given the dominance and the lackluster play of the other 2 programs. West Virginia might be their best chance for their next win, and West Virginia, they're scrappy. I mean, they do things well. I mean, JT Daniels, he's not good. I mean, clearly we joke about how he bounces around programs, like Trevor Ariza. But JT Daniels and the West Virginia offense could get it going on any given day, and they should certainly get it going on this Oklahoma defense.
Oh my God, if they lose to West Virginia, like I always say you get a year pass, but like, man, if they lose to West Virginia, that's totally unprecedented. I will say in defense of Kansas, my beloved Kansas Jayhawks, they're good in the same way that like Minnesota is good, which is like, you can reasonably expect to win 8 games. And for Kansas, that's like the Super Bowl. They've stormed the field 3 times already this season at Kansas because that's what that team represents. And that might be, 8 wins would be 4th in the Big 12. 8 wins is what we said would be the expectation for Texas. And I think the bar is probably still there, even though they've dominated Oklahoma. And you think with Quinn Ewers, they would have beaten Alabama. Like, I think the bar is still 8 wins, even as the chaos of the Big 12 ensues.
So my remaining expectations going into the next set of games is, okay, you're going to be underdogs probably against Oklahoma State or Baylor. One of those 2 games are going to be underdogs. And there might be a game in which they get maybe a point in their favor. I would be happy if you could at least split those. I'm not saying go in there now with this expectation, with this renewed hope. I'm not saying going in there and you could just sweep those teams, because those teams are really good and they've earned their spot in the rankings. They've earned where they are because they've played consistently like this over the last couple of years. Their coaches obviously have a lot of street credential in the Big 12, in college football. Their programs are supposed to be there. Texas, like we said, they should be happy to be there this year. And now you can just move the bar a little bit more, because now you see what this offense's potential is when it's at full strength. It's one of the best offenses in the country. It's up there with potentially what Lincoln Riley's doing with USC. It's at that level of offense just because you have playmakers on every level. You have big offensive linemen. You have a strong arm quarterback. You have Xavier Worthy. You have Bijan, who's going to make some NFL GMs think it's smart to draft a running back in the first round. I still think you don't do it, but he's going to make them think about it. So those are the type of playmakers you have. And defense, opportunistic, pesky. They'll be able to steal a ball, get a turnover. And if they get a turnover, they know their offense can convert it into, at bare minimum, 3 points the other way. That's just kind of how you win games. That's just the basic logic of the sport. And I think that at least the Texas has shown that they're able to do that is a positive step in the next direction. Now, again, I said the same thing after the Alabama game. Now I'm curious how the rebound effort is. I just need to consistently see how they do in the rebound effort, because they're going to be playing this Iowa State team that beat them last year. Just don't play down to Iowa State's level. That's all I need to see from them this coming week. And then I'll have my answer of what I can expect for this team heading into next year. I remember having this conversation. Is Arch Manning going to be a first-year starter? The answer is no. I think he's going to sit a year behind Ewers, and hopefully that doesn't scare him off because we know the nature of the transfer portal competition. I would like to think that that would bring out the best of Arch Manning in this pursuit of gaining his own legacy with the Longhorns. But it's nice luxury if you are Coach Sark to be able to have that, to where you literally have your quarterback of now and you have your quarterback of the future coming in. To have that kind of slotting at that position, you can't script it any better, honestly. Anyway, guys, that's my closing thoughts on the Longhorns. Let us know what you thought of the game against Oklahoma in the comment section. Were you expecting that? Were you expecting Oklahoma to at least have a little bit more fight? What is the future of Oklahoma heading on past this season? I'd like to know in the comment section below. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media. From Ju-Ju and Kyle, stay safe, happy, and healthy. We'll see you on the next one.